बात चाहे खसरा खतौनी की हो या वृद्धावस्था पेंशन योजना अथवा दहेज उत्पीड़न के खिलाफ आवेदन ही क्यों न हो, प्रदेश में आज 14,000 से अधिक जन सेवा केंद्र कार्यशील हैं, जो प्रदेश के 1 करोड़ से अधिक व्यक्तियों को इस योजना का लाभ पहुंचा चुके हैं और निरंतर अपनी सेवाएं देते जा रहे हैं। सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी और ई शासन के प्रदेश में निरंतर बढ़ते कदम। In order to better understand and appreciate the plan and to take a holistic view of the state's past achievements and future objectives, we have this morning with us a host of distinguished guests who shall be shedding more light as also evaluating the state's work in the realm of IT development and e-governance initiatives. Having said this, I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest this morning, Shri Javed Usmani, Chief Secretary, Government of Uttar Pradesh. It is under the able leadership and guidance of the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Akhilesh Yadav, and Shri Javed Usmani, that the state today is making huge strides in the realm of information technology and the development of technopreneurship. It is all because of the far-sightedness and developmental vision envisaged by the Honorable Chief Minister that almost every village of the state is equipped with a laptop, ensuring that education, information technology and developmental initiatives touch the common man in all spheres of life. Shri Usmani has been instrumental in furthering these developmental initiatives, taking the vision of the Honorable Chief Minister further and making his dreams a reality. If the Honorable Chief Minister dreamt of dovetailing education, e-governance and IT projects in a transparent and time-bound manner, credits are due to Shri Usmani, under whose able guidance the task became attainable. eUttar Pradesh today and tomorrow will talk about the challenges, growth and the potential of the state as the better hub for e-governance, IT SMEs and the growth of IT in education, health, transportation, public distribution and financial inclusion. The event looks forward to providing an ample and suitable platform to technopreneurs, IT SMEs, ITES conglomerates and Hindi-speaking BPOs in furthering the developmental objectives having been envisaged by the government. I now call upon Shri Jivesh Nandan, Principal Secretary Information Technology and Electronics, to kindly come up and welcome our chief guest, Shri Javed Usmani, Chief Secretary, Government of Uttar Pradesh. Shri Jivesh Nandan, Principal Secretary Information Technology and Electronics, coming up and welcoming our chief guest, Shri Javed Usmani. Please put your hands together. And now may I call upon Shri Alok Ranjan, Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner, Government of Uttar Pradesh, and request Shri Jivesh Nandanji to honor Shri Alok Ranjan. Next to be honored by Shri Jivesh Nandan is Dr. Rajendra Kumar, Joint Secretary, Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, sir, namaskar.
Ours is a democracy, and a democracy is the most successful when both the governments and the common man work hand in hand to ensure the success of the system. This has been, in all probability, the dream of the public-private partnership. And now I invite Shri G.S. Naveen Kumar, Special Secretary Information Technology and Electronics, Government of UP, to kindly come up and felicitate our honored guest from the corporate world. सबसे पहले मैं मंच पर आमंत्रित करती हूँ श्री देवजनी घोष को, जो साउथ एशिया इंटर कॉर्पोरेशन की मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर हैं, और श्री नवीन कुमार को अनुरोध करती हूँ कि वो कुछ देकर उनका स्वागत करेंगे. Next, I call upon Shri Rajiv Srivastava and request Shri Naveen Kumar to felicitate him. Shri Rajiv Srivastava is the Vice President and General Manager, Printing and Personal Systems Group, HP, and being welcomed by Shri Naveen Kumar. Next, I call upon Mr. Karan Bajwa, Managing Director, Microsoft Corporation India Private Limited. Mr. Karan Bajwa, being welcomed by Shri Naveen Kumar. And I also invite Mr. Ravi Swaminathan, Managing Director, India AMD. Honoring them all is Shri G.S. Naveen Kumar. Mr. Ravi Swaminathan, Managing Director, India AMD. Thank you, everyone. I now call upon Shri Jivesh Nandan, Principal Secretary IT and Electronics, Government of UP, to kindly come up and start the session with his inaugural address. Please put your hands together for Shri Jivesh Nandan.
Respected Chief Secretary, respected IIDC, Joint Secretary from Government of India, our guests, Ms. Devjamini Ghosh, Rajesh Rastoji, Ravi and Bajwa Saab from Microsoft, and all my colleagues from government and from private sector who have been invited and who have all come here. It is a privilege for me to welcome all of you here. We have been doing many things as far as IT and electronics is concerned in the last, I will say, 1.5 to 2 years. And I will take this opportunity to briefly say something about these steps. We have tried to create an atmosphere where private sector, especially from the IT industry, they feel a warmth and welcome with you. And the first step that is required is to create predictability and ensure that we have a policy regime which is going to stay there for some time. And as an indication of this, we announced our IT Vision 2012, and we compared with other states, because as a state government we are competing with every other state, and there are many states who have already taken many strides in the field of IT, and therefore we have tried to compare as to what is in other states and what should we be doing, and that is how we have announced our IT policy. In order to facilitate the private sector and all our other stakeholders to come in, we also created a policy implementation unit within the IT department, and we thought it would be a good idea to have some private sector involved even in this, and that is how we have KPMG, who is with us in the policy implementation unit. We feel that they will be able to hold the hands of private sector better, and that is the logic that we have taken. And the roadmap is IT City Lucknow is already, it has been bid out, and I hope that we will be able to close it in a few weeks' time. And next, of course, is IT City at Agra, and the many IT parks which we have planned in the hinterlands of UP. Or we have defined IT parks and IT City differently in our IT policy. And IT parks are essentially small 3 to 5 acres plug and play facilities where software, KPO, anyone can come in and do some work. And let me say that we, together with this, we also feel that the laptop distribution will have an improvement. And with that, as it is going down all over the state, there are many small businesses which will come around this, whether it is in maintenance of these, whether it is in software and applications which are required. Together with this, we have also done, we have taken many initiatives on e-governance. Today we have more than 16,500 Jan Seva Kendra all over the state, which are run by village level entrepreneurs, and in fact we will award 3 of them who have done maximum transactions in their, from their centers as far as government certificate delivery is concerned. Similarly, there are more than 2,500 low-quality. So all this which is happening all over UP will have an effect on overall ecosystem and climate which IT requires. All departments have also undertaken many other initiatives as far as IT is concerned. So with these, I will once again welcome all our guests who have come from far away just to be with us today in Lucknow. It is our privilege that you have come here. I welcome you once again and welcome everyone who has found time to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jivesh Nandanji. And I now invite Mr. Rajiv Srivastava, Vice President and General Manager, Printing and Personal Systems Group HP, to kindly come up and say a few words. Mr. Rajiv Srivastava, please put your hands together.
Respected Chief Secretary, Rajesh Maniji, respected Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner, Government of UP, Shri Yadav Panjamji, respected Principal Secretary, IT and Electronics, Shri Jivesh Nandanji, respected Joint Secretary, E-Governance, Government of India, Shri Rajan Kumarji, Managing Director, UPLC, Shri Naveen Kumarji, Shri Prabhat Mittalji, उनके बहुत सहयोग रहा है शुरू से ही। मेरे इंडस्ट्री के अन्य मित्र करण, रवि, देवजानी और सभी उपस्थित हैं। It is absolute honor and privilege to be standing over here and talking to you about on such a momentous occasion. I think you'll be doing it for the first time at such a large scale is in itself a tribute to the journey that has been traveled, distance that has been traveled over the last months and years. And also for us to be given an opportunity to stand up and talk to you about what's going on in the IT industry and IT field. And I'm going to talk to you about just two very core dimensions to our presentation today. पहला dimension होगा जो हमने अभी देश का सबसे बड़ा irrigation project यूपी के स्टेट में execute किया है. It's the largest project in the world. उसके बारे में मैं बात करना चाहूँगा कि क्या dimension थे कि क्या complexities थी. और जब भी इस तरह का कोई project execute होता है, which is impacting people at really the grassroots level, क्योंकि हम लोग विद्यार्थियों को पकड़ रहे हैं और उनकी पढ़ने की क्षमता को और एक्सटेंड कर रहे हैं. जब भी इस तरह का ग्रासरूट प्रोजेक्ट होता है, हमेशा वहाँ पर सामाजिक और आर्थिक कई विकास की संभावना उत्पन्न होती है. तो मैं उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा कुछ बात करना चाहूँगा. But let me first begin by really thanking. This was a very progressive initiative of the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. He literally conceived the scheme, and also I met him a few times, and he's also guided us in going around and trying to. हमारा उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा मार्गदर्शन किया इस पूरे स्कीम को एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए. और इस like I said earlier, ये स्कीम देश की सबसे बड़ी स्कीम है, दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी स्कीम है, जहाँ पर इतने बड़े पैमाने पर इतनी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी से और इतने स्केल पे काम टेक्नोलॉजी का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वितरण किया गया है. इसमें 4 मेन पॉइंट्स थे. सबसे पहला था 15 लाख लैपटॉप डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने थे अराउंड 75 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स, 312 तहसील, 312 तहसील थी और 4167 कॉलेजेस में इनका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होना था. तो जस्ट द शेयर नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स, टच पॉइंट्स ऑन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वर ह्यूज एंड वेरी. That was one thing. The second thing was about the number of units which had to be tested. Because जब हम लैपटॉप बांट रहे हैं, लोगों को टेक्नोलॉजी प्रदान कर रहे हैं, तो हम हमेशा ये जरूर चाहेंगे कि वो टेक्नोलॉजी हमेशा सीमलेस एकदम चले, जैसे उनके हाथ में है चलनी शुरू हो जाए, किसी को कभी भी कोई कष्ट ना हो इसके लिए। तो उसको क्वालिटी कंट्रोल बहुत जरूरी होता है। तो 15 लाख लैपटॉप में से 90,000 लैपटॉप वर टेस्टेड थ्रू अ रिगरस प्रोसेस बिफोर एक्चुअली गिविंग। इट वाज अ सैंपल इंस्पेक्शन, बट 1/15 इज अ वेरी गुड सैंपल टू गो थ्रू फ्रॉम इंस्पेक्शन पर्सपेक्टिव। फिर उसके बाद इसके डिप्लॉयमेंट में ट्रेनिंग का मुद्दा था। टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग जरूरी थी और स्टूडेंट्स जो कि यूज करेंगे उनकी ट्रेनिंग जरूरी थी। तो हमने अभी तक 7,800 टीचर्स को ट्रेन किया है और मोर देन 10 लाख स्टूडेंट्स को इसमें ट्रेनिंग दी जा चुकी है। और जस्ट टू सपोर्ट, बिकॉज वंस यू गिव द लैपटॉप, अच्छी क्वालिटी का लैपटॉप है, खराब नहीं होना चाहिए, पर हमेशा टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ ना कुछ कभी दिक्कतें आएंगी। उसको लंबे समय के लिए, पूरे साल के लिए सपोर्ट करने के लिए एचपी ने स्टेट में हर तहसील में एक सर्विस सेंटर बनाया है। 312 सर्विस सेंटर बन चुके हैं हर तहसील में, और उन सबको कोऑर्डिनेट करने के लिए लखनऊ शहर में एक 40 सीट कॉल सेंटर बनाया जा चुका है। तो ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पूरा यूनिक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वाज साइंड इन February, we completed it in 10 days, which is 7 months, or on 15 September when the 7th month got over, the contract was executed. So absolutely ran to proper procedure. So it was done in a world record time of almost 7 months. So and there are some, ये मीडिया ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया इसके ऊपर। जब पहली बार वितरण हुआ था मार्च के महीने में, 10-11 मार्च को चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब ने लखनऊ शहर में वितरण किया था, तो मीडिया ने उसमें बहुत अच्छी बातें की, देशों दुनिया की साथ और सीएम को बड़ा बड़ा थैंक यू। सो मेरे ख्याल से इसका प्रचार भी उतनी ही अच्छी तरीके से हुआ था। I want to talk to you a little about once you deliver the laptops, how do you make sure that students stay connected and students are able to utilize it in the best possible manner, which is about creating an infrastructure and network of service centers across the state. So जैसे मैंने बताया, देखिए आप 4 तस्वीरें हैं, 4 लोकेशंस की मैंने पकड़ी है, खासतौर पर आप 312 कहीं भी सर्विस सेंटर में चले जाइए, सारे सर्विस सेंटर्स एक से हैं, हर एक में 3 इंजीनियर और 1 कोऑर्डिनेटर, 4 लोगों की मैन पावर हर सर्विस सेंटर में काम कर रही है, जो कि लैपटॉप कभी भी किसी को कोई तकलीफ आए, चाहे हार्डवेयर हो, सॉफ्टवेयर हो, ट्रेनिंग हो, वो हर तरह से उनको सुलझाने का की क्षमता रखती है। 40 कॉस्ट सेंटर इन लखनऊ। एंड ऑल्सो ये देखिए इसमें गहरा मुद्दा ये था, कई जगह पर कई बार पावर कंडीशंस हमेशा एक जैसी नहीं रहती। So and to avoid that, to take care of that, we make sure that there is an inverter or a generator at most of these service centers, so that laptops can be charged because they have a finite amount of life. They can be charged again, and laptops can also be and when people come to get it repaired, there is a power available to make them functioning perfectly. So that was the way in which the whole program was conceived from a delivery and support perspective. This I told you earlier कि 7,800 टीचर्स ट्रेन हुए, 10 लाख बच्चे ट्रेन हो चुके हैं, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दिए जा चुके हैं उनको, 4,167 कॉलेजेस में इनकी वितरण हुआ था। पर हमारे यूपी गवर्नमेंट ने इसमें बहुत सहयोग दिया। इसमें उन्होंने एक मार्गदर्शिका पुस्तक रिलीज की थी जो सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट्स को भेजेंगे, जिससे कि इसका पूरा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन बहुत आसान होगा। मार्गदर्शिका से आप A to Z सारे के सारे स्टेप्स यदि आप फॉलो करें तो बहुत आसान हो जाता है उसमें करना कि कब डिलीवरी होगी, कब इंस्टॉलेशन होगा, कब ट्रेनिंग होगी, कब इसके पेपर सॉल्व होंगे, कौन सा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होगा, सारा प्रोसेस एकदम क्लियर मिल जाता है। तो उससे हमें बहुत सुविधा मिली। और आप ये देखिए कि कई जगह पर लखनऊ, मेरठ, गुड़गांव, मैनपुरी जैसी जगहों पर कैसे कैसे हमारे ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स बने थे, जिनसे स्टूडेंट्स को टीचर्स दोनों को साथ में मिला करके ट्रेनिंग दी गई थी। I'm just going to take a minute off because a project of this magnitude, and I'm telling you, I've got involved in India on many projects of large scale, whether it is income tax or it is agriculture, the central government scale, Department of Post, many banks, Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Punjab National Bank, so many places, so many projects which touch citizens, rail reservation, railway action. I've got involved in so many projects. This project has been very unique in many ways. One, it ran to clockwork from a precision perspective, on time. That was one. Second was, the whole process was extremely open and tremendously transparent. So the whole way in which the tender process ran, the way in which the documentation was done, was outstanding. And कई बार हम लोग documentation को सोचते हैं कि एकदम ज़्यादा जरूरी चीज़ नहीं है शायद, but documentation in a project of this magnitude is so critical, where you can track, you can trace a student with a laptop number. So if I give you a laptop number or somebody gives you a laptop number, I can tell you which student that laptop has been allocated to. That is a level of documentation that UPLC has done. It was an outstanding job, well done. It's a marvelous job done by I think also when you are adhering to timelines 100% of the time, you also make sure that you follow a defined guideline, which was the RFP. The RFP was so well structured, we never had the need or necessity to look beyond the RFP. We never sought in deviation because no one was required and there was no need to get on deviation. So it was an extremely well thought through, well crafted RFP, 100% adherence, no requirement. And UPLC came up with a portal where you can upload documents, you can see, you can track the transactions, consignment, which consignment, where, how it is going. So that portal of UPLC was absolutely very well done. I think a project of this nature can never get done यदि सारे divisions में सहयोग से काम नहीं होता. And we were very fortunate. I know we did a lot of work as well from our side, but we were very fortunate to be absolutely guided. We've had meetings with Shri Usmani ji, we've had meetings with Jayesh Nandan ji, many meetings with UPLC, with the Education Secretary earlier, all of them. Everywhere, the track of the meeting was how do we make things happen, how do we make progress happen. And that was to me the single biggest defining moment in the whole project, that the will to make things happen really created the end result, which is so nice and so unique. So everybody in the chain, and there were many departments involved in the chain, everybody in the chain, including the district magistrate, the college people, the principal, the students, if they refuse to come to training, you can't do anything about it. But their cooperation to say, look, I'm giving you a date, you're coming on that date, is a big thing. That's how the project timelines got met. So it was very well crafted. And then I think it was important to follow a very structured Six Sigma methodology in trying to do the project management. And I also have to at this moment thank our partners in this project, which is AMD and Microsoft. They did a fantastic job of helping us in doing our project. Then we changed track and tell you about what are the transformation potential which is possible. किस तरह का आर्थिक सामाजिक विकास और उन्नति किस तरह से possible है. And I tell you, I'm involved with many projects across the world of this nature, including UP, but many other projects as well. और मैं आपको 3-4 ऐसे लोगों के नाम बता रहा हूँ यहाँ पर जिनके साथ हमने बातचीत करी है, जिनके पास हम गए हैं. पहली लड़की है नेहा, जिनको UPCM ने गाजियाबाद में लैपटॉप भरा था. She felt so proud about the laptop and she told us that she sleeps with the laptop next to a pillow. So that as prized a position as that, and she's learning a lot of technology from her elder brother, and she wants to do further studies on that. That is one good example. Let me give one example of a person like Vikas Kumar. Vikas Kumar is also from a secular society, and he's trying to learn Tally to become the next generation and go to the next level of learning. And so is Suleiman and all these people have great ambitions. Suleiman is a mobile repairer. He wants to become a geography lecturer or geography, and he's learning through that. So it's a great example. Then there are some great examples from the world as well. चिकित्सा का पहला एग्जाम्पल मैंने लखीमपुर खीरी का लिया है, जहाँ पर EL सेंटर चल रहा है HP का. Any patient can log in their records and somebody else can read them and advise medicine. So it's a great example. और ऐसे ही शिक्षा का है, और ऐसे ही एक नाइजीरिया का एग्जाम्पल है, जहाँ पर किसी ने हमसे सीख करके और लैपटॉप से लर्न करके टेक्नोलॉजी लर्न करके प्राइस फ्रॉम की अपनी लीड शेप में बढ़ा लिया. So I think all of these are very great examples. Look, I think the journey has just begun. This is my last slide. The journey has just begun. It's been immensely satisfying, and thank you so much, sir, for helping us, allowing us to be a part of this program. I think probably aligns with us to the vision of IT vision of the UP state government, which is about IT as a vehicle of economic development for inclusive growth. What can be more inclusive than providing laptops to children who would probably never brought it, as inclusive as that. But I think that with 20 crore population, UP has got the right level of intelligence and right level of resources to punch the right weight in the overall market in India as well as outside. And we as HP, being the largest IT company in the world, we stand absolutely firmly committed to the development of UP till the time it reaches the pinnacle. Thank you so much.
And Mr. Srivastava on behalf of all the people present here. And now I call upon Ms. Managing Director, South Asia at Cathedral Corporation to kindly come up and enlighten us all with her address. Please put your hands together to Ms. Devjani Ghosh.
Good morning. First of all, apologies, I am not going to attempt to speak in Hindi. This is not very good, so I shall stick to English. Respected Chief Secretary, respected guests, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be here. It's an absolute pleasure. We've been working with UP actually since 2008. That's when we first started our engagement with UP. And you were right, UP is the state which makes you feel very welcome. And we love what we do here, and we really know we can do a lot more. The thing about UP that differentiates it from a lot of the other states is its IT vision. Every state has an IT vision, and the IT vision has a lot to do with technology. The UP IT vision is how do you use technology as a vehicle for development, for inclusive growth. It's one of the few states that actually sees technology as an enabling tool, and that's it. And I think that's the beauty, that's the power of the vision. Because technology is exactly that. It is an enabling tool. Everything depends on how you use technology. And I love the fact that the vision is to use technology to drive inclusive growth, which is so needed in India today. In my mind, inclusive growth happens when every man and woman in this country has the ability to access knowledge, whether it is education, job skills, healthcare, services, and knows how to use it so that they can improve their ability to earn. So if I'm earning 100 rupees a day, how can I, with the use of technology, if I'm able to increase that even by 10 rupees, 50 rupees, then that is the right use of technology. And that is where financial empowerment happens. And with financial empowerment, you get growth, you get development, and you get citizen empowerment. So to me, inclusive growth is all about providing every single citizen with access to education, with access to healthcare, with access to basic services, especially government services and financial services. And given a country like India, where the complexity is so huge, you cannot do it without technology. That is the role of technology. So when we started our engagement with UP, as I said, we've been working with UP since 2008. But in all honesty, the engagement with UP really picked up last year when we met the Chief Minister, and we found that his vision for education, for development, for technology was extremely aligned with our vision. That technology was a tool to drive development, and at the core of development was education. You cannot have development without education. That was his vision, and that was exactly our vision. So our focus became education in this state, and we said, okay, we will work with the government to see how we can take quality education across to the grassroots levels. And the focus was two areas. First, digital literacy. How do we ensure that all the students who are getting the laptops or who are getting maybe tablets tomorrow or whatever devices it may be, but how do we ensure that they know what to do with it? Not just the students, teachers, farmers, housewives. How do we ensure that every single citizen who's getting the technology in hand knows how to use the technology to improve their day-to-day livelihood? That is digital literacy. So that's a huge focus of what we do. We launched the programs here focusing primarily on students and teachers. But going forward in 2014, we are working with the government to see how we can take it even broader. We can take it to communities like government workers, because if they are going to implement technology programs, they have to know how technology can be used by the common man and woman. So those are initiatives that is extremely important. The second area of focus, which was an area that both the Chief Minister as well as I care very deeply about, which was Education has to be used to build problem-solving skills. You cannot just educate for marks, you cannot just educate for a degree, but education has to leave the person a little bit richer in his or her ability to solve problems and contribute to development. That's an extremely important focus for Intel. That's the center of our education focus. And that has become an extremely big focus of what we do in UP. And we focused it in two areas. One is K-12 schools and one is higher education. In K-12, we launched an extremely ambitious program last year, which the Chief Minister flagged off, called Vigyan Yatra. There were buses which were equipped with technology tools, with trainers, with content that toured around the state of UP over 40 days and went to 21 districts, went to around 441 schools and taught over 22,000 students and over nearly 2,000 teachers how to use technology to learn science, maths better, and how to use this to basically improve their ability to research and problem solve. You know, Intel is also a sponsor of the largest science fair in the country called IRIS, and we've always had participants from UP in the science fair. But post the Vigyan Yatra, we noticed a 30% improvement in the quality of the projects from the state in the science fair. And this was determined by the mentors, the scientists who work with us as mentors for the science fair. So that's been a huge area which we are planning to expand even further next year. The other area is higher education. In higher education, we have been working with IIT Kanpur for a very long time, curriculum development, research. Most of you know we have got two of our latest and most world-class labs. One is in parallel computing and one is in embedded, given the importance of Internet of Things in the future in IIT Kanpur. We also have some faculty development program, sabbatical. In fact, we have faculty from IIT Kanpur who comes to Intel and works with us for 6 months to understand the latest research trends and then take it back to the campus. That's a brilliant program. We don't do it with too many institutes. IIT Kanpur is one of the very few institutes we do that with, and we've been very happy with the results. And very lately, we have signed an engagement MOU with Mahamaya Technical University. In fact, if I'm not wrong, it is one of our largest university collaborations in India ever. I think it's the second largest university collaboration ever. The Internet of Things is, as we all say, the next big thing that's going to hit us. So in preparation of that, we're working with Mahamaya University to set up a Center of Excellence in Curriculum that will train students on how to develop products that will cater to the demands that Internet of Things create. So the focus will be on embedded curriculum and research, and we work with them to develop a curriculum that will be scaled across 100 engineering colleges in the state. We're also setting up, because for all these things, working with the student is easy, but if you really want a sustainable long-term impact, you have to empower the professors, the faculty. It becomes extremely important to enable them build an environment of research. So we're also working with them in the Noida campus to set up a faculty center of excellence, which will focus on that. So the journey to date has been fantastic. It has been really encouraging to work with the government, the kind of support we have got in all the education endeavors, and the kind of encouragement we have got to do more. You know, UP to me is being the most popular state in India. It is the change agent in India. If UP changes, India will change. It's very simple. So it's extremely important for us to focus on the right things in this state to drive the change. I would love to see this state not just being known as the most popular state, but being known as the most progressive state with the largest number of digitally literate citizens. I would love to see this state with not just the largest number of digitally literate citizens, but with citizens who are empowered to use technology to do better in life, to contribute to their families, to their communities, and to the state, and hence to the country. We are very committed to work with the government hand in hand in that journey to enable that. So far, it's been a wonderful experience, and we hope that this partnership will increase and strengthen as we go forward. So thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here, and wishing you the very best.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ghosh. And I now take on the opportunity of inviting Mr. Karan Bajwa, Managing Director, Microsoft Corporation India Private Limited, to please take up the dais and say a few words to us all. Please welcome Mr. Karan Bajwa.
Respected Chief Secretary, Mr. Javed Usmani, Mr. Alok Ranjan, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, friends from the industry, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here this morning. This is my first visit ever to Lucknow, and I must say I'm absolutely delighted with what I see here. A beautiful city. You have the luxury of staying in such a beautiful city. I'm sure this can't be said about many cities in the country. So I think it's great to be here this morning. I express my deepest sense of appreciation for the Honorable Chief Minister, and I'm sure we look forward to seeing him this afternoon as well, for his forward-looking vision of providing technology in the hands of the masses. Now, we've all spoken about the digital divide forever, and we've tried many things in the past to bridge the digital divide. I think what this state has done, and on the scale that this state has done, it is an unprecedented step. As they say, the best way to teach a child to swim is to throw him or her in the water. And that's exactly the way I think the state has chosen to give technology in the hands of people who've never experienced technology. That's a very, very bold move, I would say. In a democracy like India, there is absolutely no other way but to provide equal learning opportunities if we want to get the entire country up and running and get the entire country to give development all across. We talk about inclusive development. This is the only way to do these things. So bold steps like these are very, very important. Now, however, alternate views have always existed on these kind of initiatives, but I think that the leadership of this country, especially the young leadership of this country, like the Chief Minister of this state, I think they realize this very well. That there is no other way but to take such bold steps and move this country forward. And I really applaud the Chief Minister of the state for having taken this bold step. And the Chief has very clearly said this is the largest such initiative in the country, and I think it's the largest in the world as well. And a lot of states are now replicating such initiatives. Okay, congratulations to the state of UP for having done this. Projects like these, they actually accelerate the learning curve for students. There have been many studies that have been done to verify this particular statement. There's an organization called IMRD, which has done a research in the state of UP on a sample of students to see what has been the experience after the technology, after the laptops were provided to the students. And the findings were very, very interesting. 83% students strongly agree that the laptop has helped them improve their grades. 82% have attributed the learning of computers to this scheme, accelerating the learning of computers to this scheme. And again, there are more statistics, I won't go into details, but the project is headed in the right direction, absolutely. There's no questions about it. Early days, signs are good, it's headed in the right direction in terms of providing a progressive outlook to the overall initiative in the state. It's important for me to share with you a fact that when our company was founded about 30 plus years ago, our founder Bill Gates had a very simple vision for the company, and that was to provide a computer at every desk and a PC, a personal computer in every home. That was the single line vision with which he started the company. Ever since that time to now, our entire initiatives, our efforts have been to provide computing to the masses. Whether it's technology, our initiatives, we've always tried to provide technology in the hands of the masses. User experience, technology, continuing to bring down the cost of technology, that has been the core of what we've done as a company ever since this was conceived. And one of the very important things that we've thought about is, how do you bring the skills up on the bottom of the pyramid to be able to use technology? So we started this program called Shiksha that we partnered with many state governments, including the state of Pradesh. But over the last 8 years, we've now trained 8 lakh teachers across the country in computer training. This is a very detailed 15-day course that we provide to the primary school teachers. So these teachers go back to the schools and they impart the knowledge to the students. If I were to take a deploying these programs across the country as well as the state of UP. Currently, we are in the final phases of formalizing our partnership with the Uttar Pradesh Technical University on setting up a center of excellence in Lucknow. This initiative will focus on imparting advanced technical skills in building and maintaining complex data centers and writing advanced codes for applications. Now, applications are a very, very important part of computing these days, so we are training these people to write applications for consumers, for commercial, for businesses. As a part of this program, we also have the Microsoft IT Academy program, which will be offered through the Center of Excellence, and that will provide learning and certification access to youth residing in distant places. So again, it is about providing computing to the masses. That's what we focus on. How do we take this forward? We have been working across the country, multiple partners, some of them are there today, in driving e-governance initiatives. There are enough and more examples of successful e-governance initiatives. And I always pose this question challenge to government policymakers and government leaders. Say, how do we now go from having tested those pilots, tested those projects to go on scale? And the idea is about replication. This country will scale on these projects, given our federal structure, only if we learn to replicate. Some work has started in Uttar Pradesh, and I proposition to the government that we want to partner with you in continuing this replication initiative and driving the pace of technology in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Once again, congratulations to the state and the government of Uttar Pradesh and the Honorable Chief Minister for speeding up the adoption of IT in the state. We look forward to partnering with you further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now may I call Mr. Ravi Swaminathan to please come up and address us. Please put your hands together for Mr. Swaminathan.
Mr. Swami, Mr. Alok Ranjan, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, Mr. Jivesh Nandan, my colleagues from industry, distinguished guests. For AMD, it was an absolute privilege and pleasure to be associated with this massive UP project. And one thing I can tell you today, UP as a brand is known across AMD length and breadth of the world. When I go and meet my global CEO, he asks me what's happening in UP. So that's one transformation which has certainly happened in the size of this project. And I was telling Mr. Osmani just now that project was executed in an absolutely transparent fashion with great speed and most importantly by bringing in a whole lot of competition. And I think the kind of competition which was there in this deal enabled you, gentlemen, to get the best possible deal at prices which are really, exposed to prices across the world, but you really got it at fantastic prices. So as a consequence, I think what UP has done today is pioneer bringing low-cost, high-quality infrastructure in the hands of all our, students here. Now I just want to talk about 2 or 3 things. I think my colleagues have already covered a lot of area. One, as an Indian, UP is our heartland. And unless UP progresses, India really cannot progress. So all of us have a vested interest, have a real interest in making sure that these kind of projects take off and are very successful. The second thing, which is also equally critical, is that how do we take advantage of the changes which are happening across the world? If I look at the technology industry in which we belong, massive changes are happening. Yesterday's heroes are struggling. New heroes are coming up today all the time. Industry is changing. You look from the old classic, big devices which consume a lot of power to now devices which take low quantities of power, high graphic intensity. A lot of things are happening in this industry which allows countries, states to really take advantage of the trends and technology which are happening. So what happens here is you can become from a hero to a zero very quickly. But equally from zero to a hero, you can move very quickly. And the benefit of that is that states like UP can actually accelerate. And you can take advantage of these trends which are happening to leapfrog. You don't have to necessarily look at what is happening elsewhere over the last 20 years. Very quickly, UP can really catch up with everybody else. Now, one of the secrets is for AMD, the best kept secret is that a lot of the development of some of these products are happening in India. We have some of the most talented chip engineers sitting in Hyderabad and sitting in Bangalore. And they are designing products today which are being used across the world.
we are very privileged. Why did it happen in Hyderabad? Why did it happen in Bangalore? It happened essentially because there was a mass, IT movement which started from the grassroots. And what I see here is the same opportunity that as IT starts from the grassroots, as more and more people have accessibility and availability of IT, then you suddenly see transformations which can happen. And more than what IT is doing in the IT industry, what IT does is essentially it is changing industries like education, it's changing into healthcare, it's changing into retail, manufacturing, what have you. So what IT can do is really have that mega multiplier effect. And if states like UP have to really take off as we go forward, I think they have to embrace IT. I don't think it's a choice, I don't think it's an option, it is a necessity. And what we are really excited about is the vision in that sense of the Chief Minister and his team to really take that benefit which technology is giving today and go forward. So I'm sure this is just the beginning, and we are excited about continuing the partnership with the state government. I think there are huge opportunities for all of us, and if we look at this as a combined industry cum state initiative, and we take this to the next level after that, then I have no doubt that in the years to come, UP will be in the forefront of technology. And while people across the world know UP is just a brand today with the largest project, people will also say that UP has become an IT powerhouse. So my best wishes to all of you here, and I look forward to continuing this association. We are very excited, and on behalf of our company, we commit again that we will bring the best technology at the greatest value and work together so that UP can really become a transformational state. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sri Ravi Swaminathan. And next I invite Dr. Rajesh Kumar, Joint Secretary, Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, to please come up and say a few words. Please welcome Dr. Rajesh Kumar.
Respected Chief Secretary, Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner, Principal Secretary IT, invitees from the private sector, Mr. Rajesh Srivastava, Ms. Dejani Ghosh, Mr. Karan Bajwa, Mr. Ravi Swaminathan, all the senior officers from the state government present here, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to be speaking at this occasion. I will talk about the National Governance Plan and the challenges that we have faced in its implementation, the way forward, and how we have been doing in the states with a focus on Pradesh. As you might be aware, NEGP or the National Governance Plan is the largest flagship initiative of Government of India for mainstreaming e-governance in various departments across the entire country. Out of the total 21 projects, 31 MMPs that are part of this, 23 have gone live. So as a whole, it has been a fairly good success by any standards. However, if you look at the challenges, then we have several issues that have come up in the last 7 years of its implementation. For example, even now, do not really see an outcome orientation in the projects. Still, the focus remains on achieving milestones for delivery of hardware, installation of software, developing applications. But what about transactions? What about reaching out of citizens? That has largely been missing from the efforts in e-government domain so far in the country. Then there are very few end-to-end services. Still, a person would need to travel to a government office for either proving his or her identity, submitting documents, submitting information, or receiving service. So, very few services can be really obtained completely electronically through an online mechanism. So that's a major challenge before the NEGP. There are very few integrated services. For example, different departments, databases, they are not interoperable. They do not talk to each other for most of the cases. So across departments, integration has not really happened. That has been a major challenge again before the NEGP at a macro level. Then we have not really focused on alternate delivery channels. What about new platforms like mobile platforms, mobile devices? Can be delivered through mobile phones, tablets, so that every person in the country, every citizen can avail of these services. This also has been largely missing from the framework so far. Now what the Department of Electronics and IT has done so far to bring these new ideas, new concepts into the fold of NEGP. As many of you would be aware, we have built the core ICT infra across the entire country in all states, consisting of networks reaching down to the block level and with Inaugural coming in hopefully to the panchayat level in a couple of years' time. We have put state data centers in place in every state, which are operational now by and large across the entire country, which allow the department to quickly become online to host applications without spending time and effort on creating their own infrastructure. That's a major development that has been there in this domain. We have recently tried to bring the latest technology platforms into the overall framework of NEGP. For example, cloud is the next major initiative that the department has taken. The National Data Center is being cloud enabled. The SDCs would be enabled soon. Some states are at the forefront, they already have done so. We have brought the mobile platform in a very big way into the entire delivery mechanism. The idea is to create a centralized cloud-hosted mobile platform, which is now being used by over 800 departments across the country, delivering over 35 lakh transactions every day through mobile devices alone. This consists of text-based messages, alerts, status notifications, also complete end-to-end service on mobile platform itself, and mobile apps on the Android platform and Java platform. This is a major development. We are also working on the next generation network, which will exploit the high-speed bandwidth of Inaugural, which is being laid across the country now. And hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years' time, we will have a highly advanced version of SWAN 2.0, the state-wide area network, next generation, which will provide connectivity to departments to reach out to citizens and stakeholders right up to the village level. We already have done pilots in 3 states in this regard, and the results have been very encouraging. We have brought the focus and outcomes into the entire framework of NEGP. We have worked with departments across the entire country, in Government of India, in states, to really tell them the importance of focusing on transactions and on ensuring that outcomes are achieved, not just merely focus on the hardware, software and applications. The results have been very encouraging. We have launched a portal called eUttar, which aggregates the transactions across different budgets in the entire country in the e-governance domain. And at present, I am happy to tell you that over 3.5 crore transactions are being delivered almost on a daily basis through the MMPs alone. The number of services that have gone live is over 200 for the MMPs alone, not counting the other projects. So there has been a sea change in the approach towards e-governance, in the overall framework that we have put in place. There is much greater focus now on business process engineering, on ensuring that the citizens are benefited as a result of these projects. We are also working on what we have named as NEGP 2.0, the next version of NEGP, National E-Governance Plan, to ensure that the latest technologies, the latest service delivery mechanisms are mainstream within the framework of NEGP. New departments are brought in, which are not having an MMP now. We also would like to focus on multiple delivery channels, I mentioned, through both web-based platforms, mobile-based platforms, etc. And we also would like to focus on replication, as Mr. Wada mentioned that in the country there are a lot of work happening, but quite a bit of it is duplication that involves doing the same thing again, reinventing the wheel, wasting resources. So we have launched an initiative for replicating projects across the state, and already some applications from some states have been taken up by the states which do not have such projects. There is a project called ePass on scholarships in Pradesh, which has been replicated in Pradesh and Tripura, and now being done in Jharkhand. So now there is much greater focus on replication compared to what was the situation earlier of duplicating resources and projects. So hopefully with these initiatives, we believe that National E-Governance Plan would be able to achieve its overall vision of reaching out to citizens and all stakeholders through electronic governance, right at the doorstep of the citizens, and now through mobile devices. It should be available to them 24/7 within the reach of everyone. UP has done quite well in e-governance projects, in MMPs and also otherwise. It has done quite well in state pilot project, and now the main project in Inaugural across the state. So I wish the state all the very best in all the MMPs and also for other e-governance projects. And being the most populous state in the country, whatever the state does in e-governance will have a ripple effect across the country. Thank you very much.
And next I invite Shri Alok Ranjan, Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner, Government of UP, to please come up and say a few words to us. Please welcome Shri Alok Ranjan.
Mr. Javed Usmani, Chief Secretary UP, Madam Devjani Ghosh, Mr. Karan Bhadwa, Mr. Ravi Somanathan, Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Mr. Rajesh Swarashkar, my colleagues, distinguished members from the industry, and friends from media. Well, I must say that the outset itself, that right from the moment this new government came into power, our Honorable Chief Minister, who is quite IT savvy himself, has had a vision about the development of the IT sector in the state. And this particular conference and workshop, which has been organized by the IT department, I think is a very major step in the culmination of this vision and taking this vision forward. I must congratulate Dinesh Nandan and his team of officers for having worked so hard and also extend a very warm welcome to my friends from industry who have found time to come here today and to address us and give us the views, because I'm convinced that it's only with the partnership between industry and government that the way forward is there. This is the only way that transformation as far as the state of UP is concerned is possible, and this is what we are looking for. This is what our aim is, this is what our IT vision is. As Dinesh Nandan spoke to you, the IT vision of the state has also come out. We have come out with our own IT policy. I think everybody is aware of that. I'm not going to repeat what is there in the policy or in the vision. But basically, we do believe that IT can transform the lives of the people in the state, across the state. So many distinguished panelists just now spoke about one of the major experiments that the state of UP has carried out. That is relating to IT in education, the distribution of 15 lakh laptops. And I'm so glad that the friends from industry did say that what a transparent process was there, absolutely transparent process and absolutely fair, and the way this whole exercise was conducted, I think the entire IT department and the officers sitting here who implemented this project need to be commended for that. Of course, the digital divide has to be bridged, and the digital divide to be bridged is perhaps one of the ways in which we can bring about inclusion. When we talk about inclusion, we talk about financial inclusion, we talk about other aspects of inclusion, but this is one of the major steps to bring about inclusive growth as far as the state of UP is concerned. And this distribution of laptop, I'm so glad to hear from so many people out here that this is bringing about a transformation. I was glad to hear Mr. Bharkar put some figures about IMRD research, which did say that possessing a laptop has had a very positive impact on the education levels of the students. I think this is what we are looking for. And this can only be made possible with a large-scale training program for the principals, for the teachers, and for the students themselves. And I'm glad that Once again, in that area also, we are cooperating with the private sector partners to make this possible. Of course, this will have to be a continuous exercise. We can't sit back and just wait. It will have to be a continuous exercise. We have to keep growing. We have to keep learning as we go back. As far as the governance is concerned, my colleague from Government of India talked about the National E-Governance Plan, and I am so happy that he did find that the progress in UP is quite good and UP is progressing well. Well, yes, a lot of initiatives have been taken as far as the governance are concerned in the state of UP. We are implementing the e-connectivity, we have implemented the pilot e-district project, we are going to expand that now for the other district to the state. And that apart, so many officers I see sitting out here, I would like to just mention to you, in their own way have come up with wonderful e-governance applications in their domain, whether they have been district magistrates or collectors, or whether they have been managing directors, head of departments, or even in various departments, secretary. Wonderful experiments have been carried out. And I can just, I know they're sitting here, the low body experiment, the grievance redressal mechanism through IT, is got out all over the state. It was an experiment which he started, and then it was followed and replicated all over the state. So that is one. Similar things have come up in my own field. I noticed in agriculture, for instance, fertilizer monitoring systems were developed so very well by some of our own collectors. I think some of them are here in the audience here today. They came out with an FMS system to monitor the fertilizer and how the fertilizer was reaching each and every retail outlet and how much fertilizer was reaching, and that helped us immensely to make fertilizer available to the farmer at the right time. This is the kind of transformation that IT applications bring about. I was looking after our development a few years ago, and I do recall that as part of the model, reforms, house tax, very critical thing. House tax was, computerized or major towns of the state, and that had a tremendous impact. Not only in increasing the income that the municipal corporation was getting from the house tax, but making the whole process so transparent. You could go to your site and get and see the formula which is given and calculate your own house tax and do a self-assessment of your own and file your tax. And many of the cities, they made the entire process online. And now the experiment is there to continue this and expand it to the other cities of the state. So this is the kind of transformation that it can bring about. Something so elementary in home guards, there used to be so much corruption and allegations of corruption in the duty allocation of home guards all over the state. I was a short while, I remember I was looking after this department along with my urban development chart, and I do recall there was a very young collector in Barabanki, because his name is there. He came out and said, sir, I have designed my own IT model by which the allocation of duties to the home guards will be done in a manner in which this allegation of corruption will be totally done away with. Well, I am very happy he came up, it went through a process of ideation, but I am glad to say that that model has now been accepted and implemented across the state. And it has led to tremendous feeling of satisfaction amongst the home guard and everybody else that such a thing as allocation of duties can be done in a manner which can be made transparent and so that people feel satisfied. So these are some of the examples I can go on and keep on repeating. In rural development, for example, IT has made monitoring of the schemes possible in a manner that it really make it transparent. You know now what was there before, what is there now, what is the transformation that has taken place. MIS, it has come up in a way that just that MIS would pinpoint where the problem is and what is happening. So these are kind of changes which have been brought about by e-governance initiatives that have been taken up by various offices of the state. So I can say that people are committed to the development of e-governance in the state. Our officers are committed. They are coming up with examples. We only have to support them. We have to replicate those examples. We have to carry out the pilots and scale up the pilots. That is where the problem always comes, as you rightly said. The problem comes when pilot always looks so good, but when you start scaling it up, then so many issues crop up, and that is where a lot of management, administration, support, and governance issues come up. But then, I'll repeat once again, that the only way to transform governance in the state is through the introduction of IT in governance. And there is still a tremendous potential for it. In every department, there is potential to transform so many activities into e-governance mode. And this can be done. And that is not only tremendous scope of work for industry in partnership with government, but also initiative for our officers to take to bring about changes in service delivery at their level, which would eradicate corruption, which would bring about transparency, which would bring about accountability, which is the very essence of IT for e-governance initiatives that we take. Just before I end, I must also point out that as Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner, the state is committed to the industrial development and infrastructure development of the state. We have come out with the policy, document for industry and infrastructure, and it's a very far-reaching document. It is very appreciated all across. We are given exemptions, incentives, and other things, and also promised single window clearance. And that is where again IT comes in. Single window can only make it a reality, as I was noticing in our group, when people were applying for setting up an industry or coming with a proposal, if everything can be made online for them, the various clearances which are getting from various other departments, if the entire process is made online and they don't have to run around from pillar to post, imagine the impact that will have on potential investors in the state. So this is there. As far as infrastructure is concerned, you must have heard about expressways, Lucknow-Agra expressway, the major projects which we are coming up with. We are trying to connect all the district headquarters with 4-lane roads. We are coming up with other major road projects, expressway projects. So this is there. Then Kushinagar International Airport is coming up as a part of the tourist initiative in the Buddhist circuit. And another airport we are planning near the Taj in Agra. These are some of the new things which are being thought about and how to improve our infrastructure, how to develop our infrastructure. So many initiatives are there, so many things are happening. I am only confident that with the cooperation and partnership of our friends from industry, with a joint effort, we can make things possible in the state of Uttar Pradesh. As somebody said, it's a state of unlimited potential. It is, and it has woken up to its potential. It is now very well aware of its potential, and we feel that it is within our grasp to attain it. I'm sure with our partnership and everybody sitting around here, we will be able to transform governance in the state of UP as well as transform the lives of the people of Uttar Pradesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri Alok Ranjanji. Wittgenstein said, knowledge is in the end based on acknowledgement. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the much awaited award ceremony is now to begin. May I now call upon our chief guest for the morning, Shri Javed Usmani, Chief Secretary, Government of Uttar Pradesh, to please do the honors. Shri Javed Usmani, giving away the awards. We start with the awards to be given away to the best 3 village level entrepreneurs or VLE category. The awardees are Sushri Ruxana Nahe from Gulpahar, Jaipur district, Mahoba. With 30,054 transactions, she represents CMS Computers. Sushri Ruxana Nahe, and she is being given an award and a laptop for her achievements. I would also invite the representative of CMS Computers to please come on stage. Sushri Ruxana Nahe, receiving the award and the laptop. And please put your hands together. With 30,054 transactions in the district Mahoba, she represents CMS Computers. That is the agency. And next is Shri Narendra Singh from Adhapura, Kiravali, Ajnera, Agra. With 20,755 transactions, he represents Vayam, the agency through which these transactions took place. I also request the official representative of Vayam to please come on the stage. This is Shri Narendra Singh. And we also have with us Shri Madan Singh from Sadat district, Gazipur. With 20,100 transactions, he represents Sahaj. This is Shri Madan Singh. And I also request the official representative of Sahaj to please come on the stage. Please encourage them all and congratulate them. And now, spurring the e-initiatives further ahead is once again our Honorable Chief Guest this morning, who shall now be launching the new website for the Department of Information Technology and Electronics, as also that of the IT Policy Implementation Unit.
स्कूल भाई थोड़ा कैमरा नीचे कर लो भाई अरे रिफ्लेक्टर हटा ली थोड़ी बहुत होगी।
अच्छा था नीचे ले आओ।
उसको हटा लो ना, हटा लो
भाई उसको हटा लो।
क्या यार आदमी थोड़ा सा थोड़ा एक सेकंड खींचे तो सब थोड़ा रुक जाइएगा। सब लोग अब थोड़ा सा आप लोग साइड हो जाए तो हम लोग खींच लें भैया, या नीचे बैठिए प्लीज। थैंक यू। ये नहीं मिलेगा, बिल्कुल नहीं मिलेगा।
वो आगे कैमरे पे ये बोल रहे तो क्या कर रहा है बना बोल रहे
नहीं वो चाहे बाहर रहने पड़ रहा है कहाँ सुन लिया माइक खिला डिजिटल अब वो भी लेंगे ये लोग फोटोग्राफर। अरे बलराम भाई सामने से थोड़ा साइड में हो जाइए यार, बलराम भाई हाँ देख भी नहीं रहे हाँ
Uttar Pradesh exclusive edition.
और होगा
Shri Javed Usmani to kindly launch the eUttar magazine exclusive edition.
ऊपर उठवा देंगे रुक जाओ।
I also request Dr. Ravi Gupta to kindly come on the stage.
थोड़ा पीछे हो जाओ।
Dr. Ravi Gupta, Editor-in-Chief, eUttar and
थोड़ा सा ऊपर
official launch of eUttar magazine Uttar Pradesh exclusive edition.
सर एक मिनट नीचे थोड़ा कोई छाता सा नया कॉन्स्टेंट आया हुआ है स्टिल थोड़ा सा यार, अरे हट जाओ थोड़ा सा यार सर प्लीज थोड़ा
Now I would like to invite Dr. Ravi Gupta to the dais so that
एक फोटो छपाने बस पीछे में
happy to announce that editor of Inaugural magazine, a special issue on IT Pradesh. It is having the best of the practices which are being implemented in whole state, and it's an honor for INCO to have this special issue on this occasion of this mammoth event. Thank you so much.
thank you Dr. Ravi Gupta, and once again I would like to request our chief guest Shri Javed Usmani to please release Vigyan Yatra. This is a joint initiative by Intel and Government of Uttar Pradesh to improve student and teacher learning in digital literacy, science, and education. And I also call upon Ms. Devjani Ghosh, Managing Director Intel, to kindly come up.
पीछे आगे पीछे थोड़ा सा दिगंबर कैमरा नीचे कर लेना पीछे आओ वहाँ है कैमरा भैया तुम्हारा
Ms. Devjani Ghosh, together releasing the Vigyan Yatra.
अरे नीचे अरे भाई थोड़ा सा यार भाई
A Tariq coffee table book which talks about the initiatives by Intel and the government of UP to improve student
थोड़ा सा यार वो कर दो
literacy, science, maths and education.
है भागते भाग गए वो कौन शादी की बात शादी से पहले
My friend and colleague, Mr. Alok Ranjan, Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner UP, Mr. Rajiv Srivastav, Ms. Devjani Ghosh, Mr. Karan Bajwa, Mr. Ravi Swaminathan, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, my friends, colleagues, my friends from the press and media, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first take this opportunity to welcome the guests from the industry to Lucknow and to UP. No discussion on eUttar Pradesh can commence without first putting it in perspective with reference to Uttar Pradesh. The heartland of India, the largest state of India, with a population of more than 20 crore. Had it been a country, it would have been the 5th largest country in the world. After China, India, United States, Indonesia, Uttar Pradesh. It's that big a state. India cannot develop until UP develops. This is a self-evident truth that we all must understand. And today, the government of UP is engaged in the extremely challenging, extremely rewarding task of turning around UP. It's a very challenging task because it's a very large state, very large issues, and turning around the large state towards the path of development is akin to turning around an aircraft carrier. It takes time and it takes a large space to turn around. But rest assured, we will do it. One of the most important steps that was taken by the Honorable Chief Minister right in the beginning was to come up with what was called the agenda for development of the state, Pradesh ke Vikas ka agenda. The agenda for the development of the state was a collection, a listing of important development schemes, important development projects that were placed on priority by the government, published as a document and transparently publicized. This was done last year for the year 2012-13, sometime in the month of August. So it was, the time available in the last year was not very much. But this year, for the year 2013-14, the agenda for the development of the state was published and notified and publicized on 31st March 2013, one day before the new year started. The idea was, there is a state government which is saying transparently and publicly that this is the list of schemes, this is the list of projects which we think are important for the development of the state. We will work hard to achieve these objectives. We are giving it to you in writing, right at the beginning of the year, and judge us on our achievement at the end of the year. To what extent have we been able to achieve these objectives? I don't think this kind of transparent exercise of laying down your objectives for the year, laying down your targets, laying down the list of schemes that you consider as top priority schemes right in the beginning of the year and making it a public document has been done by any state government. Not only that, the Honorable Chief Minister has held press conferences and will continue to do so to discuss the achievements in the agenda for development of the state. How much have we progressed in each of these? This has been discussed publicly in press conferences. The idea being that there should be a transparent monitoring of what the state government is doing to achieve the development goal and the development vision which the state government has laid down for itself. One great advantage of doing this exercise is that the attention of the government from top to the bottom remains focused on the development issues. Governance is a very complex phenomenon. It's a very complex exercise. Quite often, in the battle between the urgent and the important, the urgent keeps on winning and the important keeps on getting sidelined. It happens very often. It is only through an exercise like the agenda for development that the attention remains focused on the important. And we hope and we believe that this exercise will ensure that from the top to the bottom, the attention of the officers in the government of UP will remain focused on the developmental task. One of the key features, one of the very important features in the development agenda was an emphasis on shifting the economic development of Uttar Pradesh from agriculture to industry, from agriculture to rural-based industry as well as large industry. Without a meaningful shift of this kind, there is no way the state of UP will move forward. And therefore, right in the beginning, the Honorable Chief Minister emphasized that we must frame policies to ensure that UP becomes a preferred destination for investment in areas like industry, food processing, like information technology, like alternative energy, etc. And in the year 2012-13, last year, Government of UP came out with 6 major policies in this area. We believe that these policies, over a period of time, will become the keystone around which investment in UP in various sectors will come. The first and the most important omnibus policy is the Infrastructure and Industrial Investment Policy 2012. But apart from that, there are several sectoral policies. There is a policy for inviting investment in solar energy. There is a policy for information technology. There is a policy for food processing industry, which is a very important sector for UP because UP is essentially an agricultural state and therefore food processing is the means through which investment linked with agriculture would come in. There is a policy for poultry industry. This is a very important but often ignored area. And just to drive home the point, the importance of this
sector, poultry, was established when we learned of the statistics that UP imports 1 crore eggs per day from various states of India. So that is the kind of market that is available for poultry industry in UP. 365 crore eggs per year. And I am happy to tell you that we have got a very good response to the poultry industry policy. So these policies were put in place last year, and I am very happy to inform you that we are getting a good response. Things are moving forward, and as the projects get set up, as investment comes in, as the experience of investors that it is UP is a welcoming place, you can come here, you can invest, you can grow in UP, and obviously the market is evident to everyone. As that experience settles in and the word spreads, we are sure that the turnaround will begin. IT is a very, very important and very critical element in our agenda for development. This is not only through whatever steps are being planned and worked out in the information technology department. That is there are many departmental initiatives which are being implemented by the department. The most important, the showpiece of which is the IT City Lucknow, which is about to be finalized. But IT as an element in almost all departmental activities has been very prominently included in the agenda for development. So whether it is the revenue department, only 2 days back I was reviewing the actions taken by the revenue department in ensuring the use of information technology in the revenue department. So whether it is the revenue department, whether it is the department of public works, whether it is the irrigation department, whether it is the rural development department or the urban development department, as was explained so nicely by Mr. Alokanjan. In almost all departments, information technology will play an important role, and we have embedded that in our agenda for development. So the use of information technology in providing services to the people of UP and ensuring that the quality of these services improve is an integral part of our overall vision for the development of UP that is being executed under the agenda for development. As I mentioned just now, we are determined to create an enabling policy environment which is the most vital element of an attractive business climate. The IT policy 2012 was formulated with this objective in mind, and along with the infrastructure and industrial investment policy 2012, it seeks to provide a robust growth platform for new and existing IT, ITES and BPO companies to invest in UP. Various kinds of incentives ranging from land and interest subsidy, 100% stamp duty exemption, interest-free loans have been announced through these policies. In addition, projects have been chalked out as envisioned in these policies, and these have elicited a a highly favorable response from prospective investors. Noida and Greater Noida has for long been an attractive destination for IT companies. We have well-developed infrastructure in both these places for IT companies to grow and expand. But it is our belief that the NCR region, Noida and Greater Noida, while that should continue to grow, we must make it attractive for IT companies to move inwards, to come to other cities within UP, and it is towards that end that the IT City Lucknow project has been conceived. It is the heartland of UP, it is the capital of UP, and we are very keen that the IT industry finds Lucknow an attractive destination and comes and grows with Lucknow. The IT City project in Lucknow has already been granted SEZ status by the Government of India, and the bidding process for setting up an IT city in Lucknow is almost complete, and we shall very shortly be able to select an investor for setting up an IT city in Lucknow. We will follow that up by development of IT city projects in Agra and IT parks projects in other cities like Meerut and Allahabad. Our efforts for development of infrastructure are being dovetailed with strong governance and administrative reforms, which will deliver greater transparency and accountability swiftly and decisively. A key milestone in this direction is the e-governance initiative, which will help in bringing UP government closer to its citizens through technology. We are proud to have recorded a total number of 92 million e-transactions across a range of sectors, including issuance of various kinds of certificates, providing land record copies to the public distribution system, the transport department, etc. No discussion on information technology in UP can be completed without mentioning the laptop scheme. Much has been spoken about this scheme by the previous speakers. The only thing that I would like to say is that I believe that this scheme is a game changer. By providing laptops to 15 lakh students and by providing means to train them into the use of laptops is the single biggest step taken towards addressing the digital divide ever in the history of this world. This is the largest purchase order for purchase of laptops placed ever in the world. And the impact of this scheme, I believe, will be long-term and very deep. We are in discussion with Poverty Action Lab in MIT to conduct a scientific study of the impact of this scheme on the students who received this laptop. What was the advantage? What was the positive effect that resulted as a consequence of this very large distribution of laptops to the students? And I'm quite sure that the findings would establish that the vision behind this scheme was indeed noble, was indeed something that would change the state for the good. To conclude, I believe it is very important that our state taps into the evolving trends of global business to achieve its true potential as a player on the world stage. It is important to ensure that the benefits of convergence of various technologies trickle down to the bottom of the pyramid. I am sure we will take major steps towards strengthening UP's position as an information technology powerhouse in the times to come, and this would bring real and substantive prosperity to the people of the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our Chief Guest this morning, Shri Ravi Busmani, Chief Secretary, Government of Pradesh. And I now invite Shri G.S. Naveen Kumar, Special Secretary, Information Technology and Electronics, Government of the State, to kindly take the dais and propose the official vote of thanks. Please welcome Shri G.S. Naveen Kumar.
Welcome everyone. Today and tomorrow we will see the largest congregation of IT and ITers in Lucknow, and we have started this session with it has been inaugurated by Chief Secretary himself. I would thank Chief Secretary for showing his inspiring leadership, and to happen every moment he used to ask us what is happening, and he has been behind this entire event all through. Thank you, sir. And I would also like to thank the Honorable IIDC. You have also always been a pillar of strength. Whatever we are, any problem, you always used to solve. Thank you so much, sir. And also thank other distinguished guests on the stage for being here, taking out your precious time, and be a part of this IT revolution which is happening here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And now we are pleased to request our Chief Guest, Shri Ravi Busmani, to kindly inaugurate the eUttar Pradesh Expo. We would request you to kindly move. We would request you to kindly move towards the eUttar Pradesh Expo.